Hello guys, welcome to CoderCrab. So today we'll see very popular topic, that is event loop. Okay, so let's start. So to understand event loop, we need to understand some of the things. So let's say we have three types of function. One is a simple function test, inside that console log is there. One is having a set timeout, one is having a fetch, and this fetch is calling a API, calling an API and getting the data, and then with the dot, then it is resolving it. That's what it is doing. It is getting the promise. It is getting the promise, and then it is resolving it, right? So if you have some doubts in promise, you can check my channel. The promise videos are there. You can easily get it. So let's see what happens when your JavaScript engine sees this kind of code. Let's say first one. Okay. So once you call the test function, what happens? There's a call stack which is there, and there's a heap memory which generally stores your, it's a random memory where your variables are stored. Okay. So you have your variables here. Your function goes in here till the bottom as it is empty, and your test function starts executing here. Once it is executed, it will be popped up out of it, right? So you have 10 functions calling one by one. Everything will go in and come out. So that's why JavaScript is called single threaded. Okay, but it creates some illusion of multi-threading. How it creates some illusion? There certain setup is done to do that. Okay, and with the help of event loop, it creates a situation like multi-threading, but generally at the end it would be single-threadedly executed only. Okay, so let's see that. So when it comes to this function, it sees, okay, initially as it is simple, test call is happened, so test function comes in. Okay, and then set timeout comes in. So let's say this is set timeout, but set timeout is not a JavaScript function. Okay, it cannot be executed directly like this, right? So it needs a context of it, right? So to get that context, it would need to go through the web API call, which is done on the window object. So basically, set timeout is available inside window object. Okay, set timeout. And what else are available like this? Your session storage, local storage, your storage. Okay, your fetch, your DOM manipulation functions like get element by ID, get element by class name, get element by tag name, those one, the DOM elements, DOM function, selected function, and your console. Okay, so all these things, if it comes, it would go to web API. Then in this case, set timeout came, so set timeout is here. So set timeout will go to the web API, and this web API will push this set timeout to a queue called callback queue. Okay, then here is your event list, which is not, sorry, event listener, event loop. Okay, here is your event loop, which is checking this queue continuously and checking the stack as well. So once the stack is empty, that means everything before that and after your set timeout is executed. Okay, everything before set timeout and after set timeout is executed means, so let's say you have certain codes which are available after this. Okay, after this you have certain code available, before this you have certain codes available. Those will be executed freely because set timeout has been taken out from this stack, right? It is not in execution context now, it is out of it, right? Set timeout is out of this, so everything before this and out of this will be treated as independent and will be executed in sequence. Okay, once everything is done, the call stack is completely empty, then your event loop will look at the queue, callback queue. Okay, then it will see, hey, this is one callback function available to be executed. So then it has every component needed from web API. Okay, so what it will do is it will take this one and push it inside the call stack to the bottom because nothing is there, right? It would come here and the set timeout would be executed here. if you have multiple set timeouts, multiple DOMs other than the fetch we'll discuss later. Okay, other DOM events are there waiting in the callback, so everything will be executed according to sequence. Okay, this is how this function will be executed. Now let's discuss about fetch. Okay, so let's clean it up a little bit and discuss about the fetch. So similarly, how we have seen the set timeout, first the test will be pushed. First, when it is called, test will be pushed. Then next line comes fetch. When your engine sees the fetch function, it will give this function to whom? Web API, because it doesn't have it. Okay, Web API will have these things. Window object will be having these things, right? So your fetch function will be having its complete its available resources, whatever needed for the execution will have it here, and that will be pushed not to the callback queue. It will be pushed inside another queue called Microtask queue. Okay, it will be pushed inside the Microtask queue, the fetch one. What will be put inside? The then part. This callback will be put inside the Microtask queue. Okay. Then event loop will, as usual, see the Microtask queue and it will check the call stack also. Once the call stack is empty, everything is done. Okay. If you have some functions before fetch and after fetch are getting executed and completed, once everything is completed, then it would come to this Microtask queue and take this one and push it inside the call stack. So your fetch dot then inside that function callback function will be executed here. Okay. Now, if we have a fetch and a set timeout, what will happen? So in that case, what will happen? Your set timeout will be pushed inside your callback. Your fetch will be pushed inside your Microtask, and event loop will check the call stack first. If the call stack is empty, okay, if there is nothing in the call stack, what it will do? It will first give priority to the Microtask queue. It will priority 1 to Microtask queue and priority 2 to the callback. It will check the Microtask queue and push it to call stack. It will check the callback queue. After everything is finished in Microtask, it will check the callback queue and push it to call stack. Okay, so this is how it will give the priority. So this is where event loop involves itself and give a very good execution process to the JS engine. Now, if you have a set timeout and inside the set timeout you have a 3000 millisecond here, so that what will happen? It will be your set timeout will wait 3000 milliseconds here only. Okay, and then it will be pushed. Okay, so that is how it would be waiting.